like every Israeli and joined the 8200 unit, right? Like the Israeli NSA. And it happened to be, which I didn't know when I joined it, actually, when I was recruited, but actually go to the same place I like to deal with the same problems as I was a kid, right? On the cryptology side. Served there for X amount of years and then kind of moved on to the industry. But I would say that was kind of like cemented my love for data analytics, complex algorithmic problems, and of course, dealing with the cybersecurity, which was not the terminology used then. It evolved along the way, but the cybersecurity type of problems and finding the right solutions for them. So always loved it, as I said, since I was a kid.
So talk to me about the crypto side in 8200 group, right? I've had on a lot of 8200 group people, and I know you can't tell me any specifics or anything like that, obviously. I don't want you to, don't tell me anything you can't, right? But what is that like for crypto? Can you talk to me a little bit about like just what that looked like? Were you creating crypto algorithms? Were you deploying it in, harsh environments, or just what is that?
Yeah, so as you said, I cannot share much, but I can tell you that we dealt with code cracking at the end of the day, right? Like similar to what the NSA does, right? So at the end of the day, right, there's encrypted communication of some sorts, and the job is to find systematic way at scale, right, to crack it. So that's what we were dealing with
Yeah,
many years
it's
ago. I probably information is very, very outdated by now, but that's how my career started, actually.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me because like you always think anything digital, like the NSA, the 8200 group, Russia, China, they could just break into it. And then you read a story about how like the NSA and the CIA came together, created a company in Germany that was like, creating these devices to sell to our adversaries that had a back door built into it, right? Because we couldn't find out how to break the crypto that like just everyone is using. Like it's not like, necessarily that proprietary. Like it's out there, everyone's using like AES 256 and stuff like that. Like it's not like, necessarily that proprietary. Like it's out there, everyone's using like AES 256 and stuff like that. So like to go to that extent, to go to that length, I mean, to me, that's pretty extravagant, right? Like it kind of just shows you the difficulty that
It
they're
is.
they're facing.
Yeah. No, I agree. At the end of the day, right, NSA, CIA, 8200, GCHQ, and all of them are intelligence agencies, right? So they go a long way, right, to find the best sources of information, right? They can deal with whatever their country send them to do. So it's complex, it's tough. Many things are impossible. So not everything is possible to be done. But there's a lot of creativity, which I think that's one of the reasons, not just myself, right? As you know, there are a lot of Israeli founders coming from 8200 because it's kind of a unique place where on one end you are dealing with very complex problems. Many of them are not possible to solve or you don't know ahead of time whether will be ever solved on one end, which leads to a lot of creativity, a lot of opportunity, right, to experiment with technologies. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why there's so many startups that are starting for founders to actually serve there, because there's so much, I would say it's training, it's experience in dealing with the uncertainty of technology and its ability to actually provide a solution at the end of the day.
How often would you say you would be handed a problem that you would, come back and say like, yeah, we can't do X, Y, and Z. Like we have to go another route with it.
If you're talking about my service then, a lot. I mean, it was I would say it's not about just getting to a dead end. It's more about taking projects that you don't have a clue if you'll ever be able to be successful with them because you just don't know, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a while, months, years to figure that out.
How did you develop the skill set to actually figure that out? And I ask because, when people are getting started in cybersecurity, I always recommend that they start, on help desk, right? Because you get a lot of different experience on help desk. And one of those factors with help desk is you learn very quickly how to identify a problem that, how's it going, everyone?